Hi everybody, how are you? My name is Attorney Charles Zavala from Zavala Texas Law here in Houston, Texas. I am an immigration lawyer, also handle criminal cases and business cases. Today's video is actually a continuation. It's kind of a part two about a Ukrainian TPS video I did earlier, so it's about immigration. And this is going to be a video where I'm going to essentially, it's a walkthrough. So I guess a little background of what's going on is the USA government designated TPS. It's called Temporary Protected Status for people from Ukraine who were here before, I think March 1st, I believe is the date. So if you came after that, you unfortunately no, but if you're here before that, you're now eligible for temporary protected status. I suggest you watch my previous video. That'll kind of explain it more in depth. But anyways, temporary protected status lets somebody be in this country, remain without having to worry about being deported, and they also are allowed to work. So this video, what I'm going to do today, I'm essentially walk you through. I'm going to try to be a little tech savvy and put like the record from my screen so you can see the form I'm going to go through, because you can also file online. So you can file online or file on paper. Some people like to file on paper, filing online, same thing, choose yours. But I'm going to do the paper version. And I'm just going to walk everybody through it, you know, and the reason why I want to do this video is that I want people who are either Ukrainian descent or know people of Ukrainian descent, that this is a perfect video for them, right? Because yes, you could go to an immigration lawyer, and yes, we do charge you for this stuff, but I think it's goodwill. I'll put it out there. I'll explain everything exactly you have to do. You guys just follow my instructions, do everything right, and it should be good, right? So that's the intention of this video. So if you know anybody, feel free to spread it around. I'll try to break it through the form. It's a little bit mind-numbing. I apologize. And yes, as much as I love my job, it is still a little mind-numbing. But I'll walk you through it. I'll try to make it seem just like something we have to do. Because at the end of it, if they do get granted this temporary protected status, they're allowed to be here for a period of, I think for Ukraine, they said 18 months, and they're allowed to work, right? So that's great. So go ahead and watch this video, and I hope you enjoy. Hey everybody, how are you? Okay, so I finally figured out how to set this up. I apologize if it looks not the best quality, but it is what it is. All right, so this is number one. This is going to be the form in which the person is going to be applying for temporary protected status on, right? And you can see it up here. It's called Form I-821, all right, over here. So if you Google Form I-821, you will find this. This is what you need. All right, so, and you need to make sure right here, you have the one that's not expired yet. And unfortunately, sometimes they do expire and that's the only one you can use, but just make sure you have the one that's pretty close to the date we're in. Okay, and by the way, this is not legal advice. This is just somebody sharing some information with you guys. Okay, so here, we're gonna start, ignore this. This is for USCIS only, ignore this. We start right here. If you're gonna have a lawyer, they're gonna fill this stuff out, but you don't have to worry about that. You start right here. And the pages always are gonna read from this side to that side. Okay, so we start up here, part one. This is, we're gonna ask, you know, what category of TPS you apply for, right? And most of you, we're gonna be this one, the first one, because it's the first time you're applying, especially if you're in this Ukrainian TPS, first time you're applying comes right here. So you click that. This, you only have to worry about if you've had TPS before, which no. Here, are you requesting employment authorization? You click yes. You can also file for it separately. I suggest you just do it all at once. One application makes it easier. You will actually have to file another form, but it's just easier to do it all at once. If not, you put it right there. Here we start information about you. Last name, first name, middle name. Very straightforward. And then it's going to come, and that's page one. Then we're going to come over here. And this is where to ask you if you had any other names. And that's normally if you've ever been married before, had a different name, or if, I don't know, for any reason you have your name's changed, right? So once again, last name, first name, middle name. Mailing address. This is where you are going to be living in the USA or where you are currently living, right? So put your name, address, all your information here. Ask you if this is your same as your physical address where you live. Depends, right? Some people live somewhere and have a P.O. box. So here in your mailing address, I would put somewhere secure that you know you will get mail. It doesn't have to be your house. It could be someone more responsible or someone who sometimes people move around a lot in apartments, and I get that. So what you can do is here you put somebody who will get your mail. It could also be a P.O. box, right? So if that's the same place where you're living, you put that's your same address. If it's not, but you're residing somewhere else, you're going to fill this out right here. And that's important because, you know, this is where they mail the information to. So you don't want this to be wrong or incorrect. Then we go back up here, alien registration number. So if you are here, if you came in on a visa or something along those lines, you should have an alien registration number. An alien registration number is the number that immigration gives to identify you. So, you know, it should be on your forms if you've been approved. If not, no big deal. And if you don't have one, they will issue one out. Don't worry about this online account number. Social Security, if you have one, do it. Date of birth. Next, we're going to go other date of birth to use. If for whatever reason you have another date of birth, you have to disclose everything to them here because you don't want to lie and then they think that you're trying to do fraud and it just gets more complicated. So just put any information here. Marital information. Are you married? Are you divorced? Blah, 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 blah. Find which one fits you. If you're married, tell them when you got married. Next here, your entry into the USA. When was it? You know, when did you last come in? And remember, it's your last entry. That's important. Last, you put your date. Here was your immigration status. What was your immigration status? Did you come as a student? Did you come on a tourist visa? Did you cross over undocumented? You have to put this here. Here, ask you where. Where was it? U.S. port of entry. Was it an airport? Was it through the ocean? Here you have to put. And here put all of this. That's what all this information is going to be asking. You may have it, you may not. So this is the port of entry, the city, the state, your I-94 card if they gave you one, how long you're allowed to stay, your passport number, travel document. Put what you think you have. If you do not have any of this stuff or you don't know it, it's okay. You can put unknown or NA. Up here, it's going to just ask you more questions. These are questions that you should know, right? What's your current immigration status or lack of status? You know, you can put it there. And then, have you ever been in immigration court? Yes, no. If you say yes, you tell them where or how. Dates. Then more questions about you. Your ethnicity, your race. You click the box. Height, weight, eyes, hair. I told you guys these are really fun questions, right? Then they're going to want to say, well, look, who are you? Who is this person we're letting in? So now tell us a little bit about you. So here they want to know about your spouse, right? And this doesn't mean that your spouse doesn't have to file one of these. If your spouse is also Ukrainian, everybody has to file their own. That is very important. So once again, input their information. Who are they? A number. If you don't know it, it's okay. Name, mailing address, information about them. When were they born? Where did you get married? Have they ever had TPS? Yes, no. I mean, these are all questions that one should know. And then your former spouses. Were you married before? To who? Yes. When? Same questions they're going to ask you. And if the answer is no, you just put NA, NA, or none. And then they're going to ask the same thing about your children's. And remember, this is your children also got to file their own, right? Everyone let's file their own. And then, so let's start here. Names. Alien numbers, date of birth, mailing address. It's always going to be the same information they want. Okay? Now here it gets a little bit fun. Part 7, eligibility standards. Because remember, this application we're doing is the same one that every country that uses TPS is for. So it's kind of generic. They just want to get a lot of information from you, except Part 7. Here they start to say, okay, how are you eligible for TPS? And here you say, I am a national of, or blah, 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 blah. It would be Ukraine. Put Ukraine. Here you go. I enter the USA on the following date. Boom. They're going to ask, where have you traveled before you enter the US? If yes, put that information. They want to know. And then they're going to ask you, you know, have you applied for TPS anywhere else or have you been offered immigration status? They kind of want to know a little bit about you, about your immigration past. So you're going to fill this out. And then next we're going to get here, and this is just a long list. I'm not going to go through it with all of you, but they're just a bunch of questions. Yes, no questions, right? And they just want about your criminal record, if you have one, if not. Just a bunch of questions that you'll have to read individually, and you'll have to say yes or no. Lastly, we're right here, Part 8, where it says applicant statement. So here you're going to say, I can read and understand English if you do, if you use an interpreter, or if somebody did it for you. Put their information here. If you didn't, if you use your own, don't do it. I'm sorry. This is your information. Person from Ukraine applying. If you used an interpreter, you put their information here. put their mailing address, interpreted mailing address, and then here's the most important thing, you have to sign it. The person from Ukraine has to sign. If they use an interpreter, they have to sign. And then if you had someone do it for you, usually, you know, us lawyers, well, this is our page. And then this is just kind of an extra page in case there was any information that you went overboard that you need more space for. Okay? So that, ladies and gentlemen, starting all the way at the top, is application form I-821. This is the form that if you are from Ukraine and were here before March 1st, you are eligible for it. But it starts with this form, okay? So you have to fill that out. What else do you have to do? You have to pay the government. Here, let's look. So this is straight from the USCIS website. This is for so if you're submitting for the first time, right here, and you are, find your age, there is actually a $50 fee for the TPS form, which is great, right? That's not that expensive. You know, it's a great benefit for $50. But then they charge you an extra $85. And I'm just using this bracket, by the way. $85, right? But where they do get their money is the I-765 fee, and that's the work permit, okay? And that's $410, right? So when you add it all up, this will cost about $545 in filing fees, okay? But still, I absolutely 100% recommend that you fill out this form and the I-765 for your work permit. You do them together. It's I actually don't have a video for the work permit one, but I know there's a lot of those out there on the internet. Do them together. They're two separate forms, and remember, everybody has to do their own form. There's no family group piles here. Also, you will have to submit passport photos. So you can go to, there's a lot of photo places where you can take the type of photos they use on passports, and you will have to submit 2 per application. Okay? So, yeah, guys, I mean, I hope that was informative. Pass this along if anyone would find this helpful. If you guys still need more assistance, or you just say, look, I need a lawyer to do this for me and I feel more secure, I totally understand. Feel free to give us a call. I am more than happy to help, and we can see how we can assist you at any point, okay? Thank you.